I went to the education center on base. They said, these are the schools that are on base. I walked into UMGC because they had a business degree, and that's what I was looking to do. So I walked into the UMGC office and I said, the two girls working, the field reps at the time, great young ladies. I said, I need help. I'm new here. Right away, it wasn't just, they didn't even jump to school first. It was, oh, you're new here. Have you looked into this yet? Have you looked into that yet? Let us help you be more comfortable on base in general. Connect you to communities. Before we even really started talking about the school stuff, like, it was just amazing, like how right away I was like, this is great.
This is the Goode Show.
Welcome to this week's episode. My name's Surinder. I'm your host, and this is the Goode Show. No, I'm not in the studio today. I'm here today with the beauty Katy Sabala from UMGC. Welcome.
Thank you.
It's good to have you here, Katy.
Yes, thank you, Surinder, for coming here.
Oh, absolutely. Now, I see you out and about in San Diego with UMGC, and you guys were very, very kindly sponsored our CPO Spouse Connect event in San Diego as well. So this is great. We wanted to talk to you today because what you guys do here creates great impact. And that is what's important in our military spouse and veteran community. But before we get on to all of that, you're a military spouse.
I am.
And how long have you been a military spouse?
I have been a military spouse for going on 17 years.
Wow, girl, 17.
It's a long time.
You know something, the funny thing is every time I speak to a spouse and I go, how long have you been a military spouse? The minute it gets into double digits, it's like, wow, we're a long time. I know.
Yes.
17 years.
17 years, married almost 14, but together 17 years doing the military lifestyle. I met him while he was active duty. So,
did you know anything about the military lifestyle?
Nope. No? I did not. No, my dad served 4 years in the Air Force way before I was even a thought. So no, it really wasn't around. I grew up in Northern California. There isn't like a huge military prevalence up there like here in San Diego. So I didn't know a ton. I moved here to San Diego to be with him and was just kind of thrown into the lifestyle.
That's called baptism by fire,
yes,
I believe.
It is.
So I got to ask you though, you moved into San Diego. How did you find your village?
How did I find my village? So at first, found a job, right? Started working. I started going to school at the community colleges here in the community college district. So Mesa, Miramar City College. And I found friends that way, work, a couple military spouses here, like there, but we didn't have kids yet. It was kind of hard, to kind of find my way into that community. My husband at the time was leaving a lot. So just kind of had to find my own niche, right? How I can make it work for me.
So let me ask you, what made you gravitate towards University of Maryland Global Campus?
So University of Maryland of Global Campus came when my husband got orders to Japan. So we had to move overseas. Like I said, I was going to community college here, San Diego. I said, how am I supposed to finish my degree? How am I supposed to finish? What do I do there? How am I going to get a job? It was all these questions. I freaked out. He said, I don't know. There's schools on base. You'll figure it out. So we got there.
That's a typical response. You'll figure it out. Yeah.
And about a week, we were there for only about a week. I went to the education center on base. They said, these are the schools that are on base. I walked into UMGC because they had a business degree, and that's what I was looking to do. So I walked into the UMGC office and I said, the two girls working the field reps at the time, great young ladies. I said, I need help. I'm new here. Right away, it wasn't just, they didn't even jump to school first. It was, oh, you're new here. Have you looked into this yet? Have you looked into that yet? Let us help you be more comfortable on base in general. Connect you to communities. Before we even really started talking about the school stuff, like, it was just amazing, like how right away I was like, this is great. So signed up for school, started getting class early, walking into the office, checking in with them.
Did you physically go to class?
Yes, physically went to class on base over there. Evening classes. So once again, got me out, doing something, interacting with others. then with those two, I walked in one day. They said one of them was going to be PCSing. They said, "Are you looking for a job?" I said, "Yeah, I'd love a job." They said, it's the application's going to be open. Apply. We'll talk to our supervisors. And then
Wow.
after that, end of story. And that was in 2012 that we moved to Japan.
Wow.
So
Now, is this, again, I tell spouses all the time, go volunteer, go sign up for something, because you never know what that's going
yes,
to lead to,
yes,
So again, for you, like, quick question about Japan. Culture shock?
total culture shock.
Explain to
Loved
us.
every minute of it,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
total culture shock. Right away, we missed our connecting flight in Tokyo. So we missed our ride, had to take a train with all of our luggage.
With all your luggage?
Got off the train on the wrong side of where they were giving us directions to meet now our ride. And I honestly wanted to sit on the floor and start to cry.
Oh my gosh.
Just help me.
Yeah. I mean, it sounds overwhelming
After
to me.
all that traveling. But then it was end of story after that. It was amazing. And I always attribute that time in my life to who I am today. And if I never had that experience, how much that made me grow as a person and helped me grow as a person. Being in Japan with a military spouse who's leaving all the time, it was so new, but amazing.
Oh, I'm so glad. I speak to spouses sometimes where their trip abroad there is not being as good as one had hoped. So I'm so glad that you had a
Yes.
very positive
When I
experience.
talk to military spouses, I always say, if you can take an overseas, I would.
Yes.
Just because I do think it's just, who else gets experiences
I
like
know.
that? That's a benefit to the military
Yeah.
that I look at. Like, the life is hard. We're not going
Yeah.
to say that it's not. It is. But I would have never moved overseas for 3
No.
years and lived in a whole other country without that. So
It humbles you a little,
it
doesn't it? When
does.
you
It
realize
does.
that what we don't have or what they have or another country, it really does humble you. Let me ask you, talking about, military spouses facing unique challenges, again, frequent moves, deployments, unpredictable schedules. So how has University of Maryland Global Campus designed its programs to accommodate these realities? And can you give us a quick success story?
Yeah. So like we said, I was going to school here in San Diego, moved to Japan, found UMGC on base there. That's really how it is successful for us. And now we're across the United States on military bases. We're overseas in Asia and Europe. So when people start in one location, it's such an easy transfer. They're not worried about losing credits. They're not worried about, they don't have to worry about, how do I start and stop? We can make that transition easy for them. We can already set them up with the advisor at the next duty station, at the next location, do that introduction. So everything's just such a simpler process, and it takes out the guesswork, and it takes out this, I'm scared. How am I going to start again? Helps them with that transition. I think a success story, I mean, there's so many. I have so many. But one of my favorites is actually a dual military couple. I was here in San Diego at the time as a military education coordinator. And I had a spouse call me one day, and she said, I need to get back into school. Not sure what I want to do. Just all kinds of stuff. So we sat down, looked at her transcript. She had already taken some classes with UMGC, got her ready. She was easy. A few weeks later, her husband calls me and he's like, I'm a mess. But my wife said, you really helped her and it was so easy. I said, great, let's look at your stuff. And his transcripts were a mess. They were a mess. And he needed help, but he had just gotten out of the military, was going to use, GI Bill, Chapter 33. I said, okay, let's look at how we can make sure that we get you back on track. We can find you hybrid classes. We had to do some tricky stuff with getting him some community college classes. He had to retake some classes, but now we could make sure he had his housing and maximize his benefits, make sure that process was easier for him. And we got it all worked out. And I would say, 2.5 years later, I worked with him every semester, made sure he was in the right classes. But that 2.5 years later, when I looked, I said, "You're graduating." He said, "I'm graduating." And I got to meet him in person. He came to our location for the graduation recognition that we do here in San Diego, so they don't have to go to Maryland. It was, those things are just, it's so fun to finally see somebody. And he was like, I wouldn't have done this without you. And that's just what makes it worth it. Just to be able to have that connection.
Yeah.
And see that every step of the process, hearing about his kids, hearing about his wife, she finished way before him, all those things.
Wives normally do, don't we?
Yes.
But talking about transition challenge, I mean, when veterans are transitioning out, or a military spouse is trying to trying to build, don't have no idea
This
why
isn't
that word.
snapped, right?
No, this is not snapped. She killed nobody. As military spouses are trying to, and veterans are trying to build a portable career, so it's overwhelming. What specific support system does UMGC have in place for students to guide them through that journey?
Yes, so exactly. It is so overwhelming. And let's be honest, the transition process, there's so much involved. And sometimes they'll put school on that back burner, but then that's what their main goal is once they're out, is to finish a program or continue a program or start a new program. So we have so much support, especially here in San Diego. We have 5 academic advisors that will help them every step of the way, that are well-versed in all kinds of the different VA benefits, all the different chapters, VRNE, help them decide, what's going to be the best one for them, going through what they already have completed. Are we going to have enough hybrids to make sure they're maxing their housing? Do we need to find them another school to take, a couple classes at, to get them on track for hybrids and to maximize all the benefits? Additionally, we have an amazing career services. I always tell people, a lot of the times they'll sign up for school and they don't do the career services right away. But that's when they should be. They should be starting that career services right when they, sign up for school. Then you can talk with people. You can find mentors and kind of decide, is this the degree path I want to go? Is this the path I want to go for the future? And then set them up for, success along the way, even before they're looking for a job.
Now, I know that, again, military spouses, we always have this start-stop kind of nature in our education. And then we start off at one institution, maybe we move on to something else. How does UMGC handle credit transfer, and what advice would you give to somebody who's already started their degree elsewhere?
Yes, good question. And that's our population of students, right? A lot of start and stop, a lot of credits from multiple places, a lot of work experience. So UMGC takes up to 90 credits in transfer. So if you think about a bachelor's degree being 120 credits, that's, a lot of credits.
Yeah.
So, our students are non-traditional. They aren't just 18 out of high school with no college experience. So they have a lot to bring. So those 90 credits can be prior military. We offer military rank for credit. We offer workplace learning, prior learning. So that experiential credit.
Yeah.
Industry certifications for credit.
See, the experiential credit. Now, I'm a huge fan of that.
Yes.
Because I tend to find that, especially some of the people that I've spoken with, they've got more of that than they have of the academic credit. And it's good to know that their work is also taken into consideration and counted for.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
And that's where most of our students do bring in credit. And that's the fun part of our job, is to look at that and say, ooh, look at all this we can give you.
Yeah.
And make it exciting and make it seem less overwhelming.
Yes.
Especially when they have started and stopped a lot. If they've looked at other schools, maybe they're like, oh, I just lost 9 credits. That's 3 classes. That was a lot of work for them. And now it's gone. Where we really love to look at it all, the whole picture, and place it and figure out, how we can make it best for that individual student.
Now let's talk about the financial aspect, because again, it's a real concern for military families. And beyond the GI Bill and military tuition assistance, what other financial resources or scholarship opportunities does UMGC offer?
Yes. So we have obviously we'll take a look at the whole picture,
Mm-hmm.
figure out what we can help them decide as far as what they're going to use. But we accept financial aid, so
Mm-hmm.
that's always an option. And we always tell everyone to apply for financial aid. Sometimes military members think, "Oh, I don't qualify."
Yeah.
Yeah, just how do you know? Try it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Apply. Let's see. We have institutional scholarships, so scholarships that UMGC will offer throughout the year for our students, and then additionally, as I said before, like all these academic advisors are so well versed in all this. We all post on our own social medias, our own pages, our UMGC pages, different scholarships that come out for military spouses that we
Mm-hmm.
know of, just from what we get, right? I know I get emails from my ombudsman
Yeah.
about different spouse scholarships or something that might come out, and I make sure I share that with our
Whatever, yeah.
community. Yeah.
Are there some favorite kind of programs or that spouses tend to gravitate towards?
As far as academic programs,
Yes.
yeah,
Yeah.
I would say our business degrees are pretty popular with
Mhm.
spouses. Criminal justice, psychology is
Ooh.
another one. Are popular, but I would say business.
Uh-huh.
We have a lot of entrepreneur spouses, so people that want to start a business
Uh-huh.
or want to go further into their career. A lot of them have already are working careers. Let's be
Yeah.
honest.
Now,
Yeah.
let me ask you, is me.
Mhm.
Got my business. I don't have a degree.
Uh huh.
What if I wanted to get a degree? What would be the first thing that I have to do?
It'd be really easy as long as you've graduated high school. You can apply and be admitted.
Okay.
But I would also I would have a conversation with you. For you specifically, I would probably look at our certificate program. So we have quite a few undergraduate certificate programs, very wide range.
Uh-huh.
Those are 18 credit programs. So, 6 classes, easy, to kind of start, get a little dabble,
Yeah.
of like, what do I want to go?
Now, when you say classes, would I be coming into some place? Is this
You
online?
can. So you
Okay.
can come to our site here that you're
Mhm.
at today in San Diego and take our hybrid classes Monday
Mhm.
through Thursday, 6 to 9 p.m. evening classes. So
Mhm.
if you're working full time, have a family, makes it a little easier.
Mhm.
Or fully online. All of our programs,
Yeah.
we have over 135 programs,
Wow.
and they can be completed fully online.
See, I think for online, I mean, this is just me because you've got to know yourself. If I started it online, I would still be doing it in 6 years.
Mm-hmm.
I would have to come in,
Yes.
sit in a classroom environment. That's what it would be for me. So again, the fact that and if I couldn't make it in a session, then I would do online. So
Yeah.
you can do it anywhere. There's no excuse.
Exactly.
There's no excuse.
No
That's-
excuse. Yes. And
That's
we have a
basically.
lot of students that do that.
Yeah.
And that's fair. I mean, a lot of people say they have to be in person to learn. So we try to have that balance.
Uh-huh.
We try to make sure that the hybrids we offer here in San Diego are balanced
Uh-huh.
to reach, a wide range of people and their degree paths. Also, we will work with you if you really are struggling with math. That's what a lot of people are like, I can't take math online. I'll help you find one at the local community college that you can transfer back into us so that you do get that in-person component and
Mhm.
have that interaction with the instructor that might help you be more successful in that class. I will say a lot of people are really scared of online until they try it.
Uh-huh.
And once they've done it 2-3 classes, it's so much more comfortable. And a lot of them will be like, I would like to just do it fully online.
Oh,
It's
wow.
just, yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
Because I always think to myself, I know I'm the type of person that I have to be there physically to do it. Otherwise, if it's online, I might be like, I'll do it tomorrow, do it later. Then
Yes.
it's like, oh my gosh, I didn't do it. So
Yes.
again, I think that's very attractive to me that there is that choice of either or. Now, if we had a military spouse sitting in a car in San Diego driving down and she's listening to us, Katy, now, and she's not too sure how she can make it work. First of all, how is she going to get in touch with you?
Yes.
That's important. How do we get in touch with you?
Well, you can call us here at the San Diego site.
Mhm.
You can email me.
Mm-hmm.
You can call me.
Okay.
You can just pop in. We're open Monday through Friday, 8 to 4:30. We always have walk-in students. It's great. We love our walk-in
good.
students.
Okay.
Additionally, if she wants to schedule an appointment, I can share all that information with you as far as my bookings link. Makes it easy to schedule an appointment. But really, it's just having that initial conversation, just letting us know what you're interested in, maybe what you're afraid of, what's you're apprehensive about, what's keeping you from like on that ledge of what do I do? When do I start? Those are all great starting talking points for us to help a military spouse, especially that maybe their husband's about to deploy or their, wife is about to deploy or they're about to have a baby. That's like a big one. We would love to have those conversations, just how we can help.
And I think that is the crux of it, because I get a lot of spouses asking about it and you're thinking about it, but don't let the thought just stay in your head, because before you know it, time's going to go by and then you're going to be thinking, oh, well, I never acted upon it. So we're going to give everybody a call to action today, that if that thought is in your head of, furthering your education, then you need to just come down and have a conversation.
Yes, have a conversation. And who knows? You might end up with a job.
Yeah. That is true.
Yeah.
You never know. Katy, as a military spouse, I've got to ask you this. Advice, words of wisdom for any new military spouses out there that,
Yes.
What would you say?
Yes, I would say,
don't do it. No.
No. Get out there, find your community, like we talked about before. Also, every experience is what you make it. So try to find the positives. If you are struggling, reach out. There's so many resources. Use them. Surrender is a great one. But also, if you're looking for more, we would love to have you visit the site here. We can help you talk about next steps, things like that. So,
you're also out and about, though, because whenever I see you guys, you're always at a college or at an educational facility. I mean, you're out and about there.
Yes. We're all over. So we have an alliance with all California community colleges. So we are all across the 8 community colleges here in San Diego County. We visit them usually weekly, just connecting with students. We're going into their veteran resource centers to connect with the veterans there at the community college, the staff at the community college, just really sharing what we can offer as far as, like I mentioned before, the non-traditional adult learners. What they, might have questions with, how to make that an easy transition for transfer. We have a lot of veterans at our community college, so it's great to go and connect with them, help them talk about next steps. It's always nice to see them because they always know about us.
I love that. It builds.
Yeah, it's hard being in San Diego, and people, why is Maryland in San Diego? So it's fun to give the backstory, but then it's really fun to see people that already know why Maryland's in San Diego and what our school is about.
Again, our call to action today is any spouses, veterans out there, if you're thinking of further education, you want to go to UMGC, find out the programs that they have, come down, speak to Katy and see what's going on. Got very nice offices, and I also noticed some delicious cookies when I walked in as well. So
umgc.edu, and then they can put San Diego to get to our site.
Perfect. Katy, it has been a pleasure to have you on, and it's great information, and it seems to be easy. That's the other thing that, especially when you look after it, when you deal with it.
Yes, it is. And I think people are so scared that it's not easy, and it doesn't have to be hard.
Yes. If you've been part of this program, we would love for you to drop your comments below. Let us know what program you were a part of, and let us know, the end result for you. Because the other thing is, I always find that people come and they do the courses, but sometimes we don't know where you went afterwards or what happened. So drop us a little message below. Me and Katy will be checking it to see after you graduated where you went and what's happening.
Yes.
Katy, it's been a pleasure.
Thank you so much, Surinder.
Thank you so much. My name's Surinder. This is The Goode Show. Please go to YouTube and subscribe. Follow me on all social media at The Goode Show. And stay tuned.
Thanks for tuning in to The Goode Show. I hope you have been inspired by today's conversation. If you loved what you heard, help us spread the word. Follow me on Instagram @The Goode Show.